Our guest today is a lush film goddess, an Academy Award-winning international superstar who also happens to be a warm and wonderful woman who's never happier than when she's simply in the kitchen cooking for her family and friends.
Hello.
Yes, we get a chance to eat. And you've done all the cooking.
Of course, that's why I'm so proud.
She's Sophia Loren, whose film career has spanned 5 decades, playing earthy peasants, tempestuous Italians, and worldly sophisticates. Now she's written a cookbook filled with both her favorite recipes and stories of the great stars who've enjoyed her cooking.
Well, let me formally say, welcome Sophia Loren to Bill Boggs' Corner Table. It's a pleasure to have you with us.
Thank you.
Before I start talking, can I just take like a minute and just look? You look lovely, really. You've written a wonderful cookbook, Recipes and Memories, Sophia, that it gets into your soul because your grandmother, Nana Luisa, really was the inspiration for the book. What were some of your earliest things that you remember preparing as a child?
I remember preparing some pasta. She taught me how to prepare a pasta with a little sauce in it, but I would boil the water, I would put the pasta in it, and then I would put some tomatoes in it, in the water.
Yeah.
So it was a kind of pink broth with pasta.
And how old were you then when you were at your grandmother's?
I was about 9 years old.
And you say your grandmother really didn't teach you to cook as much as she taught you to create in the kitchen.
Well, of course, I mean, because she couldn't cook much because she didn't have anything at her disposal to cook. Because
World War II.
World War II was, we were really hungry, and we didn't have anything to eat. We didn't. But my grandmother always tried to, with her magics, to try to find a way with what she had, which was very, very little, to create sometimes even succulent dishes.
Succulent?
Succulent dishes.
Well, what have you created for me?
Well,
because I'm hungry.
This is polenta.
Polenta. Now, you say in the book you like polenta in a microwave. Saves a lot of time.
Yes, but I don't use too much microwave. Because,
for polenta, you do...
polenta, I do, yes.
Polenta layered with...
With mozzarella, I think, no? Yes.
I'll give that a try.
Yes,
I promise that I'm going to try everything. So would you like me to start with this, or do you want me to start with the pizza? Okay.
Yes. And with some potatoes.
You know, you can really cook. It's very good. Now,
this is very good. I mean, my favorite is pizza.
You're from Pozzuoli?
Pozzuoli, yes.
Pozzuoli,
yes.
which is a little bit south of Naples.
Yes, yes.
And the great Neapolitan spirit and the birth of pizza is in Naples. Now, I want to take a bite of this, but I want to know what Sophia Loren thinks of American pizza. Like, you know, when you go into a store and say, I'll have a slice and a Coke.
You know, pizza is very simple to do, and even in America is good. But sometimes they put too many things on it.
Like pizza with
but the simple
shrimp,
pizza, yeah, but
onions.
You see, here there is only tomatoes, mozzarella, and basil.
Right.
And this is the best, because then you can really savor everything that you put on.
No, it's quite I'm gonna,
oh, it's beautiful.
Another bite. Well, tell me about the tiramisu. Is what you made on Letterman. You were making me jealous all that time you spent with David Letterman.
Oh my God, you made a mess out of my tiramisu. It was not a tiramisu, it was a tiramisu.
Well, tiramisu means what? Pick me up.
It was a mess, yes, but it did pick me down. It was really terrible, absolutely terrible.
Have you had many tiramisu in many American restaurants? Because this is, you know, this is a great date food of the 80s, tiramisu.
Yeah, but it's not always very good, because sometimes it's a little watery.
Ooh.
It's a little watery, but this is very good.
What's the secret to make it not watery, Sophia?
Well, it's to put the right amount of coffee in it when you start to layer the come si chiamano questi? The biscuits.
The lady
fingers.
Yeah.
And the right amount of liquor, and then you put a mascarpone, egg, and everything on the side. And
Did you put extra liquor in here to try to knock me out during the interview? Is there a little extra in here for me?
No, Letterman drank it all.
I'm fascinated by the fact that one of the great perks of stardom for Sophia Loren was the simple ability to have a kitchenette with you.
Yes.
on location for many of the movies.
Sometimes when I go on location and I have to stay there a long time, like 2 months, I always like to have a little corner where I can cook. I mean, not a big kitchen, a big thing, but a little corner where I can cook sometimes. And so it's the only way for me to feel really at home.
And to give,
otherwise, I feel very lonely.
But it was also a way for you to connect with your co-stars. And
yes, also.
In the book,
yes,
in
also,
Recipes and
because I
Memories.
can invite them. And we have a nice little dinner, and they tell me what they want to eat.
Well, let's talk about
like Walter Matthau.
Walter Matthau, how Walter Matthau ends up on a list with Burt Lancaster, Richard Burton, Cary Grant, Frank Sinatra, Marlon Brando, Alan Ladd, Walter Matthau, grumpy old man. What did you make for Walter Matthau?
Walter Matthau, I made pasta with a simple sauce, simple tomato sauce.
Right. How about Paul Newman? Now, you did a movie with Paul Newman.
Yeah.
Have you tried Paul Newman's spaghetti sauce, his pasta sauce?
No. Is it good?
I enjoy it. It comes in a jar.
Yeah.
When's the last time you've had jarred pasta sauce?
Never.
Never?
No.
You never hear that little
No,
it doesn't happen at all?
No.
Everything
I like to make it fresh. I like to make it myself, I like to do it at home.
Well,
I don't like to be rapid in the kitchen. You just open a jar, and then you eat, and then you go. No. You have to take your time. You have to sit at the table. You have to prepare the table. You have to have a nice atmosphere, maybe candlelight. Nice music, even with your children. It's not only an erotic thing I'm saying. No. Even for your own family, you know, it's nice. It's nice.
Recently, legions of fans and paparazzi showed up for a glimpse of the movie legend at her book signing in Midtown Manhattan. But I decided to travel downtown. But you know, Sofia's recipes are just as alluring as she is. So we decided to take one of her creations, this caponata, to the streets of Little Italy to get some authentic reactions to Sofia and her cooking.
Exquisite. Sophia, Loren, you are the great.
So buono, veramente.
Like my grandmother used to make.
Ah, good.
Yes.
Very tasty and very good.
You are the best, Sophia Loren. Never change.
Would you agree with the assessment that you have had a fairy tale life?
Oh, yes, of course. I mean, when I was in Pozzuoli with my grandmother, and we were talking, and she was always singing me a very nice song. She was always saying, one day you are going to grow up, and you're going to have a beautiful car, and you're going to have a wonderful life, and you're going to be a great lady, and everybody will admire you. She was always singing me this song.
And this is in the context of
and I was 12
real
years old.
poverty.
Yes, 12 years old. But she liked to dream. But she didn't know that the dream later on became reality. And even more, because, I mean, I didn't expect to have a life like I have. Do I really deserve all this? I don't know. But I had this wonderful life. I have this wonderful life, and my dream came true and more.
How, if you look at your life in the context of the highs and the lows, the great peaks of success, the valleys of despair, what comes to mind just like this is a great high moment and a low moment from your tremendously interesting...
Low moment in life? Or
low moment in life. Yeah, in life. Just a low moment that you remember and then a peak that you particularly remember.
Well, the peak was when I had my children. When I became a mother. That's my peak. Low moment, I think, when my mother died.
The loss
when
of
she
your mother.
passed away, yes.
It became common knowledge around the world that you literally had to lie down and be in bed for 9 months in order to carry your children. No radio communication particularly, you didn't talk to people on the phone, you didn't read newspapers, you didn't read letters. You were really hibernating for 9 months.
Yeah, because I'm always very emotional, and I couldn't be disturbed by the outside things.
What was your mental process like, with no stimulation?
Well, I was in bed, I was reading a lot, I was writing recipes that I was putting on the side, and I was walking in the room sometimes.
You did get up and walk a little bit.
By the end of my pregnancy, the doctor told me to really, because when there was no danger anymore. Sorry. But my aim was, that I was going to have a child after so many miscarriages I had. So whatever I did in these 8 months, 9 months was nothing for me, because I could achieve what I've always wanted, to have a child.
And how are your sons today?
Beautiful.
Yes, look at this happy smile. What would you say your beauty routine has been? You have aged as gracefully as a Michelangelo statue.
Oh.
What would you say your beauty routine, in a few respects, what's your exercise routine?
I stretch a little bit. I don't exercise a lot.
A little bit?
A little bit, yes. I stretch, I move. I don't want to rust.
You don't want to rust,
No,
but
no.
Have you had a lifelong routine of, like, on a weekly basis doing specific exercise?
Yes, yes, I do.
What-
Yes, lying down and bending, the routine. The routine.
Walking?
Walking, now I walk a great deal. After the accident I had, I walk when I'm in Geneva a great deal, about an hour every morning, yeah.
And how about skincare? Your skin is gorgeous.
I
Just-
just clean up my skin, and if you eat properly, I think that your skin remains fine. I don't know.
Have there been any foods along the way, Sophia Loren, that you've just been irresistible, that you couldn't keep them in the house? Just things that were too tempting to you when you had to do movies and you had to sort of stay reasonably in shape?
No, because I'm a very disciplined person, and if I know that I have to stay slim for a film, let's say, for example, even if there is there are many pizzas around, because this is what I like.
That's a good-looking pizza.
I don't touch it.
You
I
just-
don't touch it.
Where does that discipline come from? Where does your tremendous determination come from? And you have been an enormously determined woman.
It's a drive to do well, and to do good things, and to be always on the right track.
When you were a little child, 7 or 8 or 9 years old, you were in abject poverty, World War II, bombing going on around you. At one point, literally having to look out the window, seeing your mother beg for food on the street. You were a skinny little girl. The kids at school made fun of you, an illegitimate child, fatherless. Does any of that little girl still in you, or have you shed that a long time ago?
Shed means forget.
Forget, yes. Have you forgotten about that little girl that thinks...
I don't think that whatever goes on in your childhood, and if there are painful things, I don't think you ever forget them. I think they stay within you, and because there is a scar there that will never heal. Never.
For you, what was eating like during the war?
There was no eating.
There was no eating.
No, there was no eating. There were sometimes the stores that got a lot of flour peas, or a lot of fruit, candied fruit.
Sure.
But we really haven't had nothing to eat. Really nothing to eat. We were really
So
starving.
on a day-to-day basis,
Oh, no,
hunger...
Starving, absolutely.
I mean, you have said
yeah.
that hunger actually was good for you, that growing up in poverty actually
Because who can
enabled...
forget it, you know? It gives you a drive to survive. It gives you a drive to find a way to be able to pass the day, and you never forget it. Never. I think that if you're born poor, like we were poor during the war, you will never forget it. Never. It's something that hits you all the time. You always think, maybe all this that I have, it's going to disappear. Maybe it's only a dream. It's terrible. It's a nightmare sometimes.
Do you ever smell something, smell a dish, a pasta fazool or something like that, that takes you all the way back to that
Of course,
kitchen?
that's why I wrote the book. That's why I associated this kind of the scent, the smell with food. Of course, sometimes the smell of a pasta e fagioli it can make me cry, because I imagine always a scene with my grandmother in the kitchen. It's something very moving for me. And pasta e fagioli is a very concrete and solid
it's a
dish.
solid dish when you had the ingredients to put that together.
There's nothing poetic about it.
You live part-time in Geneva and sometimes in Los Angeles. What do you think, as a world gourmand, of California cuisine? when you go out to restaurants in Los
I
Angeles?
don't know California cuisine. What is California cuisine? Everybody eats Italian food here. I mean, in California, everybody.
Yeah.
There are so many Italian restaurants all over. It's really, it's incredible. It's spread so much, the Mediterranean diet, that it's really wonderful. Because it's a very healthy diet.
It's Exhibit A.
Very healthy diet.
If you could put together one ideal meal for yourself, you know, the first course, second course, what would the third course?
I would say.
Ideal meal.
Yeah. Pasta with simple sauce, tomato sauce, with raw oil and a lot of parmesan on it.
Okay.
Not much pasta, enough.
Enough to get you going, right?
Yes. Then I would have some scallopine, which is a veal meat done in a pan with a little bit of marsala on it.
You love the marsala
and a little
sauce,
flour,
right?
a little flour on it, so you have a thick sauce with some fried potatoes that I like very much, done in the butter, fried in the butter.
One more course?
And then...
in case I ever get to take you out to dinner.
No, one more course, no, because it's already
That's enough.
enough.
Dessert?
Dessert, no. Dessert, no. I prefer fruit salad. Because dessert is really very fattening and it's very bad for the cholesterol.
Well, this is, I can actually, I want to say, if you follow this recipe, which is in your book.
But of course, if you just eat half of it, it's good for you.
I had 3 bites of this and I can feel the alcohol effect. This
Really?
is pretty strong, yeah. I want to ask you a kind of serious question. Last August in New York, you had heart palpitations, were rushed to the hospital, and you've said you thought that you were dying. Obviously, you survived beautifully. But how has life changed for you since?
But it's a phrase that one says that when you are not ready to be hit with something, then you say, I thought I was going to die. But I didn't feel like I was dying. I felt I was going to die because it was a big shock for me.
Shock, yeah.
And so I had some arrhythmia with my heart. And I went in the hospital for a checkup, and after 2 days, 3 days, they said everything was fine, was all right, and I breathed.
But is it because of going through a scare like that, or having that insight, that fear, the shadow of possibly dying, has life changed at all for you psychologically since then?
Well, when you start to be a little mature in your life, and you have something like this happening to you, I think that you have to start thinking that you have to take it easy, and you don't have to rush too much all the time, to be calm, try to enjoy life as much as you can, enjoy your family, do nice work if you want to work, but don't rush and don't get agitated all the time.
Don't rush.
No,
Don't rush.
no.
If you theoretically could come back to our show 10 years from now, 10 years have gone by in your life, 10 years in my life have gone by. What would you like to be able to say about that 10-year period that has passed? That passed, yeah.
Well, I don't know. I don't know, because I always think that I hope that in these 10 years my children have found their way, and they have found their way of living. I hope that they are happy. I hope they have a wonderful family. I hope that I'm going to be surrounded by many little kids, grandchildren. I really think in this sense, yeah.
How about artistically? Do you see people see Sophia Loren as a living legend, as an international screen star? Inside you, are you an actress who still wants to find that great part?
I think every actor dreams about that. I think each script that you read, you say, my God, maybe that's it, maybe. Even though you have done wonderful films before, but you always dream to find the greatest role of your life, always.
So you're still thinking.
And so we raise our
You don't want to make a
glasses.
toast?
No, I never make toast.
Well, your life
They
is
make them for me.
All right, well, your life is a toast.
Okay, thank you.
And I'll drink to you.
Thank you.
Sophia Loren.
I drink to you all.
That's it.
Thank you.
Have one bite of this and suddenly feel the effect of alcohol.
No.
Yes.
It's because you never drink, maybe.
I
Or
don't
maybe
think-
because you are an alcoholic.
No, neither one. I'm somewhere in between. No, I'm somewhere in between. Would you like to taste this and tell me whether or not it's accurate? Here. Tell me whether or not you think I'm overreacting.
No.
There's a kick, right?
No. is good.
You got engaged in Italy.
On the Spanish Steps in Rome in May,
really?
I got engaged there.
And you're still engaged, I
Well,
know.
look,
Yes,
here it is.
Oh, that's so
And we're going
pretty.
to the wedding
October 9th.
October 9th.
Oh, that's good.
Thank you. Thank you very much.